Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. Hope you're having a great start to your day. And we certainly are looking forward to spending a few minutes with you today. And can't say hello, I guess. I think there's an update there that went on and I can't see it. So I'm going to... But I know you're out there, and I know that I want you to know that we appreciate you guys coming on with us. All our dear friends, you know who you are. And thank you again. We appreciate it. You have no idea, okay? And the names are going by, but I can't see them. They're going by in... at 100 miles an hour. Why? I don't know. Okay? And apparently, it's progress on Facebook. It's an update. But anyway, you guys, you know I love you. And thank you for all your feedback. Okay? So let me just plug in my mic here. There we go. Okay, you can hear me and see me. That's what counts, okay? Thanks for coming on again, guys. We are going to, we put out this morning, well, it's actually a video that I did, a little while back on high fructose corn syrup. And I talk about this all the time. I actually met... It's kind of funny because last week I met someone that worked in the industry, in the high fructose corn syrup industry in Canada. And it was fascinating to talk to him. Of course, he didn't fully know all the ramifications of high fructose corn syrup. I mean, he was just an engineer at a plant there, and that's what they did. But he had no idea how different this sugar is, how dangerous it is, okay? And I've been talking about, guys, you know that. If you get our emails, and if you don't, make sure you get them. Sign up at martinclinic.com for our emails. But we've been talking about high fructose corn syrup really probably since sometime in the 1980s. Guys, I watched it happen. And it's incredible what we've seen. It's been nothing good. And high fructose corn syrup is, we call it the antichrist of sugars because it really is a different type of sugar. And I explain in the video research that was done on high fructose corn syrup, how it's, you and I know, guys, that sugar and cancer are very much related. And we've known that since 1928. The Warburg effect, Otto Warburg told us that cancer cells were ravenous. They were like children in a candy store. They're looking for sugar. They're looking for fuel. They're looking for glucose. So we've known that for a long time. And I always use the example of the PET scan. You get a PET scan done. It's tremendous imaging, by the way. Okay, very advanced. And specifically, it's not only used for cancer, but it's the best cancer detector tool that there is. And it's very simple. It doesn't work. The machine doesn't work unless you take glucose. They inject it into you or you drink it before you go in the the imaging. And if you have cancer, and I don't care if it's in your brain or on your toe, from head to toe, cancer will go directly to, glucose will go directly to the cancer, and you can see it on a PET scan. Now that's simplifying it to some extent, but that's how it works. I remember talking to an oncologist one time, and she was very nice. And she said, Dr. Martin, why did you tell one of my patients to cut out sugar? Well, what I was telling that patient, and it was a patient of mine, you got cancer. No sugar. Nada. Zero. None. Yet. No. You can't have it. And I guess she relayed this back to, she was getting cancer treatment to the oncologist, and the oncologist says, like, what? Well, and she was very nice about it. She said, just explain it to me. I said, okay, how does the PET scan work? I waited. Well, we give them glucose. I said, I rest my case. None. Like when you send your patients away from the cancer center and you tell them, well, I know you got chemotherapy or radiation or both or whatever, and you're going to lose your appetite, so here's some boost. I said, why do you do that? Why do you have a Tim Hortons in the cancer center here in Sudbury? You don't want people eating those donuts or those muffins. Well, Dr. Martin, it's carrot muffins. Well, they got 8 teaspoons of sugar in it. You're just feeding the cancer. And they're trying to kill the cancer with chemotherapy and radiation, and then they give you sugar to make it grow. Like, how much sense does that make to anyone? I don't get it. But I talk about high fructose corn syrup. I have been doing it for years. And look, guys, okay? Use your eyeballs for a minute. Come with me in your mind, okay? So your mind's eyes. And come with me. I don't care if it's Sudbury or Timbuktu. Come with me to the mall and let's just look at people. What do you see? If you left the planet in the 1970s, let's say Elon Musk was around in the 1970s, and you decided, okay, I'm taking a trip on one of his rocket ships, and I'm going to spend the next 50 years on Mars. Okay? So then you come back. Let's say you left in 1975, you come back in 2025. What would you notice? Holy moly, people are so much bigger. We got an epidemic today of, I call it diabesity. My whole practice changed. 2 hormones that want you dead. Insulin, cortisol. They're out to kill you. And the biggest thing in insulin is the amount of sugar we consume. And I've told you guys this, the history of sugar. It's not like we never had sugar. We always had sugar. But we're up to a dump truck load. You included all the hidden sugars or whatever. People are consuming today about 200 pounds of sugar a year, give or take a few pounds. Okay, that's no good for you. But the worst thing about it is not only the amount, it's the type of sugar it is. The high fructose corn syrup. It sounds healthy, doesn't it? Fructose, corn syrup. High fructose corn syrup. The fact that it's a liquid and the fact that it's fructose are very dangerous. Look, God wanted you to eat fruit, not drink it. Okay? Like orange juice, that's man-made. Eating an orange, that's what God wanted us to do. Okay? And I always want to prove it by looking at today's liver. Now, you guys know this, and again, my audience, we know all this, but it's good to repeat because we always have new people. Every day we get new people on our program, and of course, it's exactly what we want, right? But let me do some teaching and repetition, okay? And it's repetition and very repetitive for my audience, but guys, it's the way it is. High fructose corn syrup is a different puppy altogether, and the reason is because it makes a beeline for the liver. So when you drink it especially, well, you don't even have to drink it. Just eat something with high fructose corn syrup in it. Okay, from ketchup to whatever, the middle aisles of the grocery stores. It makes a beeline for the liver. It packs the liver up with fat. It converts to fat rapidly. Now, what I was saying in the video, okay, on the email, what I was saying is there's a study came out that shows cancer cells specifically, they love high fructose corn syrup. It's their sugar of choice. And, you know, it's one of the reasons, not the only reason, but it's one of the reasons that we see today the ramifications of the amount of sugar and specifically high fructose corn syrup that we're consuming. It makes a beeline for the liver. Cancer cells feed on it. It's their preferred source of fuel. Who knew? They'll hijack the liver, according to the study, to get that high fructose corn syrup, to feed it. And it packs up the liver. And once the liver is packed up, and that's a big, big problem. We've talked about it. The liver, you know, what happens in the liver don't stay in the liver. Okay? It's not Las Liver Gate. You know, what happens in Las Vegas stays in Vegas. That's not what happens in the liver. Cancer is fueled. It elevates fatty liver, even in children. Guys, that's a scary thought. Because the liver is the Costco parking lot. And when it gets gummed up with all this glucose and fructose, you get a fatty liver. Because that stuff is converted to fat rapidly. And it packs up the liver. And then When the liver is full, the parking lot is full, the Costco parking lot is full. I was at Costco yesterday. Guess what? The doors open at 10 a.m. I think I was there at 10:05. I was laughing in my head. Because when I came up to Costco, the parking lot was full at 10:05 or whatever I was there at. And I was thinking of liver. That just shows you how crazy my mind is. I'm thinking about people's liver. That's all packed up. And what happens? When the liver's all packed up, what happens to it? Well, now your body is amazing because it has an unlimited capacity to make fat cells. Some people have more of a capacity than others. But even so, even skinny people, when their liver is packed up, you know what happens? Well, Dr. Martin, they're skinny. They don't get diabetes. Yeah, but they're not healthy. Because what happens is the liver packs that fat around organs. It'll pack it around the liver, pack it around the pancreas, pack it around the heart, pack it around the stomach, pack it around the bowels. It can be hidden. You might not even see it. But it's dangerous, dangerous fat. So that high fructose corn syrup, it has an unlimited capacity to do that. And that's what's so dangerous about it. I hope, maybe it's wishful thinking, that the powers to be will change it. I'm not holding my breath, but I'm hoping with enough education that people will demand a change. Let's get rid of that stuff. It was not meant for human consumption. High fructose corn syrup. So what else does it do? Well, it elevates your uric acid. This is one of, people ask me about that all the time. They talk about gout. And when you think uric acid, most people think gout. I don't think like that. Not that, of course, high levels of uric acid can cause gout. Yes, for sure. But most people, they have high levels of uric acid. They don't even know it because they don't got gout. I don't get gout. Yeah, but you can still have high levels of uric acid because your body can't get rid of it. Now, you might not be forming crystals to get gout in your joints, but you're still doing enormous amount of damage. Very, very hard on the kidneys. By the way, yesterday we talked about, again, probiotics for the win. Didn't we? We talked yesterday about probiotics they chelate. They help you to get rid of they flush out the forever chemicals, including plastic. I mean, that's a big story, isn't it? Okay, we talked about that yesterday. But what happens with high fructose corn syrup, and this is old news in a way because I brought to you this, I don't know, 5 years ago maybe, or I don't know. I can't remember when I said it. But I should emphasize it more because high fructose corn syrup, even though it takes a beeline for your liver. Its destination, okay? The train for the liver is leaving in 1 minute. High fructose, that's where it's going to end up. It's going to end up in your liver, okay? And, but on the way there, it disrupts the microbiome. It feeds the wrong bacteria. We've known this for a while. It affects the microbiome. And by the way, let me bring you back to high uric acid for a minute, because people think, well, what is that, doc? Like, why does that bother? What do I got to work? Well, I call it, and as far as I know, I'm the only one that's done this, but I think I'm 100% right. You know metabolic syndrome? Okay? And what the world even recognizes as metabolic syndrome, 93% of the population. In 2015, it was 88. Now it's 93% of the population have some form of metabolic syndrome. High blood pressure, elevated blood sugar, not even diabetes, but just elevated blood sugar, belly fat, high triglycerides, and low HDL. Okay? Those are the markers. But I've added a few. And I think I'm 100% right on this. Just because of all my experience and practice on metabolic syndrome. I added uric acid. High levels of uric acid is a sign you have insulin resistance and metabolic syndrome, because that affects blood pressure. The fact that you get high blood pressure, one of the factors in that is high levels of uric acid. It affects your kidneys, your kidney function, kidney stones. They're not all uric acid. Some of them are oxalate. 75% are oxalate. 25% are uric acid stones. A lot of people have high uric acid and they get stones, kidney stones, but they don't even think, well, I don't have gout. You have a form of gout in your kidneys. You have these crystals forming in your kidneys. And uric acid increases inflammation. Even without gout. That's why I love that blood test. I like to see it. I used to like to see it in my office. I want your uric acid levels. It gives me another indicator. It affects the gut lining. Uric acid will feed the bears. You know my t-shirt, don't feed the bears. Well, uric acid feeds yeast like nobody's business. Not only cancer, but yeast or fungus, candida, loves high fructose corn syrup. It's like steroids for them. They love it. Do you know that high fructose corn syrup contains mercury? Yeah, mercury. You put a drop of mercury in a lake and you're contaminated. And we got it in our bodies. And thank God for probiotics that we talked about yesterday that can help with that. Okay? One of the things that high fructose corn syrup does is it really depletes magnesium. High fructose corn syrup depletes magnesium. This is why, guys, listen. When you get on the reset, it's another reason to do the reset. Okay? 'Cause, oh, Dr. Martin, the reset, that's purines. But you're not, I never liked the idea. I never did. Guys, I've been consistent about this. I always said gout is not purines. It's high fructose corn syrup. Now, gout has been around a long time, but you know what used to happen in gout? That it was called the king's disease. Why? Because the king was drinking too much wine. It wasn't because he was eating too much steak. He was drinking too much wine. Alcohol, like high fructose corn syrup. Where does it end up? Liver. When the liver gets toxic, you know what happens? Your body can't get rid of all that uric acid. It's a byproduct of fructose. That's why when you do the reset and you're not getting any high fructose corn syrup. Imagine going 30 days on a high fructose corn syrup fast. It's one of the reasons, like people, read the reviews, tens of thousands of people. Doc, my blood pressure came down. What does eating eggs, meat, and cheese, what's that got to do with my blood pressure? Well, you lowered your uric acid. You took off all that stress off the kidneys. Doctors think protein damages kidneys. Therefore, do not eat a lot of steak because that'll damage your kidneys. No, sugar damages your kidneys, and especially high fructose corn syrup damages your kidneys. That's what damages your kidneys, not protein. Oh, we see protein in your urine. Yeah, because your kidneys are stressed. You're consuming too much sugar. Get off of it. High fructose corn syrup lowers your magnesium levels in your body. And people are walking around, they have no idea. Nobody's ever told them. They're low in magnesium. High fructose corn syrup depletes it. It's one of the factors. The fact is that we don't have it in our soil either. If it's not in the soil, it's not in the plants. It's a big issue. High fructose corn syrup depletes vitamin D. They go together. That's why people, they have trouble with their immune system. Like sugar not only feeds cancer, but it puts your T cells, it puts your immune system to sleep. And high fructose corn syrup is the worst for that. Your T cells just go on a big siesta. They're on holidays. They're not fighting cancer cells. They're not fighting the way they should. Bacteria and viruses. People today, it's amazing how much trouble they have with their immune system. And a lot of it is very is diet related. It's not everything, but it's a big factor in your immune system. And if your vitamin D level, and people are, again, walking around, they got no vitamin D. They don't have enough for a mouse. And the medical world, they're so worried. We're so worried that you're going to take too much vitamin D. Come with me. Okay? Be nice if we could go in one day, a group of us, go to the emergency departments, walk-in clinics. Why are you here? I took too much vitamin D. I'm sick. Oh! Like, hello? People are sitting in there, and besides infection or accidents, the biggest thing, and it's not even close, is heart disease, it's cancer, it's autoimmune, it's diabetes. Just diabetes, guys. Just diabesity is one of the biggest problems in our society today. And that's why the waiting rooms are full. People are sick as dogs. And we spend more money chasing our tails. I can't get over it. And then you get, oh, be careful. We better make sure you're not taking too much vitamin D. You could end up dead, says medicine. That has happened to no one. Oh, it drives me crazy. High fructose corn syrup, you know what? It reduces, you know what? I don't talk about this enough. Chromium. Chromium really helps with your blood sugar. And imagine a double whammo. You're taking high fructose corn syrup. It depletes your magnesium, which has a lot to do with blood sugar, and chromium, which has a lot to do with blood sugar. No wonder our blood sugar spikes when you take that steroid-like sugar, high fructose corn syrup. It's terrible. Liver, triglycerides go up. HDL goes down. Bad for your heart. Bad for your brain. Because of what it does to dopamine and serotonin. Bad for your pancreas. What it does to magnesium and chromium. What it does to your gut. What it does to your kidneys. Do I got to talk about eyes? Antidepressants? It's amazing. You're getting... I remember this was done years ago, okay? And I remember meeting Dr. Abraham Hoffer, okay? Now, that name might not mean much to you, but he was a guy that was way ahead of his time. He was a psychiatrist and using nutrition, vitamins to treat his patients. And he published a lot of this stuff. And practitioners like me were very interested in his research. And man, he said it's amazing the connection between high fructose corn syrup, bad sugars, the amount of sugars people are consuming, how that strips away the minerals and the vitamins out of your body. And people, the brains are starving to death. They're, you know, he said it years ago, swimming in fuel that they can't use. It's like swimming in the ocean. Can you drink the water? Nah. You can swim in it, but you can't drink it. That's what's happening up in our brains. Fuel. But it's the wrong fuel. And your body can't use that fuel. It's soaked with high fructose corn syrup. The brain swimming in the wrong fuel. Anywho. Okay. I got excited again, guys. Okay, watch that video on high fructose corn syrup and cancer. Okay? If you don't get, again, just a reminder, you don't get the emails, check your spam. Make sure they're not there. And if not, then sign up at martinclinic.com. Okay, guys, Friday is Q&A. We love you dearly. We appreciate you guys. We thank you for watching. I wish I could say hello. I'm hoping. I don't know. Will it ever come back? I don't know. I don't know. We're working on it. Anyway. But you guys know my heart, I hope. Okay. We love you dearly. Talk to you soon.